Hey guys, it's Tommy CM. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Let's Build Alton Towers. Obviously in the last episode we finished off Tower Street, which we are just flying over here. And the next step is to start construction on CBeebies land, which you can see here. I've just made a start on the sign for CBeebies, which is basically a cloud with the CBeebies logo on, and then lots of colour, lots of shapes, as it is the sort of child section of the park, or one of the child sections. So yeah, that will take place all along this sort of side here. Now what I've done is I've kind of built this path out to go down to this point. This section here in Alton Towers, this green bit, is literally just a section of grass. And when they do the fireworks spectacular shows, or when they do like certain events like they did Mardi Gras this year, they just tend to put benches all along this grassed area so people can just go on and sit down and just relax or watch a show or have events, etc. So this bit is literally just grass. And all the way down here, up until this path turns back in, this is all CBeebies land. And right down in this corner here, there's a hospitality suite. And next to that is Spinball Whizzer. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of give myself an outline of where I need to work, within, because it's very hard to scale these things on this game. So trying to work off Google Maps of like an aerial shot of the park, and just trying to work out a sort of perfect size, or a size I can at least work around. And I'm not sure what I'm going to, at this point anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to start building first, really, to sort of give myself a base to go around. I mean, by the time you've clicked on this video, you will know what I've started constructing, because it will be in the thumbnail and the title. But at this point, I don't know what I'm going to start building. I think I'm going to finish off this car park, because this car park runs all the way down to the back of these buildings, just so I can get that right. And I'm half tempted to start on Spinball Whizzer, because it is the biggest attraction down here. CBeebies land will take up 1, potentially 2, maybe even 3 episodes. At least 2, I would say. Mainly because I think Spinball Whizzer itself will take up 1 whole episode, and the rides in CBeebies land, although they are children's rides, they aren't flat rides. There is a junior roller coaster in there. There is a couple of track rides. There's the treetop, what's it called? Get Set Go. Then there's the Postman Pat ride, and then there is also a in the Night Garden river ride. So there's a boat ride in there. They all need theming. They all need stations building, etc., etc. So yeah, there's a lot of work to go in there, and there's also a lot of non-ride attractions, if that makes sense. So there's like playgrounds, there's a sensory garden, and all sorts going off in there. So because of that, this is definitely not going to just be 1 episode. This will take me over 2/3 episodes, I think, just to get CBeebies land right. Because as I say, I don't want to half do it. There's no point going into loads of effort on the big attractions if I'm not going to put in the effort for the smaller ones. So yeah, that's the sort of plan. I just need to decide now where to make a start. But when I catch up with you in a couple of seconds, I'm sure I will have made a decision then. So yeah, I'll speak to you shortly. Hello. Well, I have made a start. I have finished off this car park up here. Don't worry about the terrain difference. When I get round to finishing this area of CBeebies land, there'll be trees along the edges of there. There'll be fencing going along. But I didn't want to start putting all that in and then having to adjust it when, if I need to place buildings in different areas. I can always, add a bit of terrain to an area, lose a bit, etc. So that is basically just a rough completion of that for now. And then also what you have seen down here is the hospitality suite. Very annoyingly, the sign, I wanted to put hospitality suite, which is what this is actually called. However, that is 1 too many characters for the sign. So other than hospitality hall, which I didn't like the alliteration of, I went for hospitality room because I thought that was the next best thing. Now this is actually like a bit of a it's like a giant marquee, really. It's not actually a permanent building. It is just a giant marquee with a attachment down here, down the side. Now there isn't actually a building material in the game that is like a canvas, so I've kind of had to use these brick type walls. These are the Romanesque walls. Because there is windows just all the way down the sides of them, so that's what I've done there, and then I've just put the arches on the front there, and then we've got seating outside. Now I know what you're thinking. This isn't outdoor seating. Why don't I just put a picnic bench there? Well, it's because I didn't want the guests actually coming in to use the facilities there. If there's nothing in there for them to go to or to use, they won't go in. Otherwise, they'll walk through this fence and go and sit down. And I didn't want them doing that because this is like a VIP or, like an event or function room. So that's why I've gone for the seats in the way that I have done there. I've just got to put a few more bushes down here to kind of tidy that off and sort out the bit of pathing down here because it's a really awkward shape. But what I am going to build in this episode is Spinball Whizzer. And that is going to be this episode, is getting Spinball Whizzer built accurately. So I want to try and get the sort of the heights, the turns, etc. right on it, because I think if I build that and start from building from the bottom up, I can always kind of adjust the entrance to CBeebies Land. What I didn't want is to kind of start building there, go up, and then get squashed. So at least building from the bottom, it gives myself plenty of room to sort of tidy up things that way instead. So really excited for this. So this is actually the first ride going in. I'm at 24% on the build counter at the minute on the PS5. So I mean, I don't know what that would be on a PS4. I guess around 40. I want to say maybe even higher. Which I know is pretty shocking. However, because considering we haven't even got a ride in, well, we've got one ride, we've got a monorail. However, the reason for that is the amount of paths that are in. Because we've got the main entrance plaza on Towers Street here. There's a lot of paths down here, because that's just the way that it's going to be at the minute, unfortunately. I'm still fairly confident. I mean, 24%, and then we've got to build the rides around here. So I'm expecting after CBeebies Land maybe at 40 potentially, which still gives 60% to either extend down to this corner where I could put the Smiler and Oblivion, or I could go over this way instead and build Mutiny Bay where the Wicker Man is just kind of around here. So that is my decision. Let me know in the comments where you think I should extend to. As I say, over here there will be this path just does lead down here to 3 attractions, which is, as I said, Oblivion, Smiler, and Enterprise. Or over there we have Mutiny Bay, which is like it's like a pirate section of the park, where you've got a few flat rides. You've got like a pirate version of the teacups, so you're in like barrels instead. There's Battle Galleons, which is like a boat ride, where you fire water at each other. There's a I can't remember. It's like a seesaw boat spinning ride. I don't know the official name for it, unfortunately. I'll put a photo up here of what that ride is because I can't think of it on the top of my head at the minute. But yeah, there's one of those in there. There's a few shops, an arcade, etc., and then that leads to Wicker Man. That could be the next part of this. But as I say, that won't be for at least sort of, I want to say 3 episodes. Spinball Whizzer is going to be this one, and I think CBeebies will take me another 2 just to get the scenery and the rides right. Because as I say, that it's not just placing flat rides; they are track rides in CBeebies Land. So I will construct Spinball Whizzer now, and I shall speak to you when we've got it built. Here we go, spiral. So see you shortly. Hello. So I have, I believe, finished building the track for Spinball Whizzer. I have tried to make this as accurate and realistic in terms of statistics as possible. For example, the lift hill is exactly 17 meters high, just like the one in real life. I am trying to reflect them as much as I possibly can. Obviously, in terms of game physics, there is going to be some exceptions to that, but I think on the whole, I'm fairly happy with that. I'm happy with the overbank turns. I think they're at the right sort of angles. They're not too steep, especially the second one. But that's how it is on the actual ride. The second one is where you have the on-ride photo, so that will be going on there. And then there's quite a lot of sections of block brakes. I've just realised here this block brake here is a little bit bent. And I think that's from when I was doing my smoothing out, which has made the catwalk a little bit uneven. So I will adjust that to make it straight, because there is again, whether you notice this, because it's not always something that as you go on coasters you pick up, but the block brakes all the way around the track. Spinball Whizzer actually has 8 cars going on at a maximum of 8 cars going on at any one time, and it's because it's got so many different block brake sections. I think there's at least 2 or 3 down the straight before the station here. You got another one there, another one, and another one there. And then there's normally about 2 cars in the station anyway, because the cars are almost constantly going through. So it does have quite a high turnover. I think it's 950 passengers an hour. It can normally get through. But as I say, it normally is a constant flow. The cars don't often stop unless there's a wheelchair or somebody who needs a little bit more time getting in or out. So really happy with that. At the minute, it looks pretty basic because there's absolutely no theming. Just down here, we've got the transfer track, which if you look at any Spinball Whizzer POVs on YouTube, you'll see the transfer track inside a little shed just here. So I'll be building the little shed. And then, I'll be trying to go around and theme as much as I can. But for this episode, I don't think the theming will do it justice, because obviously, as we look over that side, a lot of that will be just empty grass at the minute. So I think, although I will theme everything around the coaster itself, however, there will be parts in terms of the views in the distance that won't quite be ready yet. But that's just because I've not built the other, the section of CBeebies land which you'll see in the background. So I will just go and theme this, put the station on, put the paths around, etc. And I shall see you again shortly. And after a ungodly amount of hours, we finally have a completed and themed Spinball Whizzer. I can't tell you the amount of times and the amount of small details I've picked up in this area. It's a very randomly designed ride, I have to say, Spinball Whizzer. For those of you not familiar with it, it's called Spinball Whizzer. It's a pun on the song Pinball Wizard by The Who, and it is kind of loosely themed on a pinball machine. It's not overly themed, but some of the scores, etc., that go around it. For example, these numbers here are constantly turning, and the sort of scores as you go around. And in the station here, there's the scores on the top. In the queue line, there's little games you can play as you go around. It's loosely based on a pinball machine. But overall, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I'm just sort of giving you a bit of an overview now before we go through it in detail. Just to give you a bit of a rundown on how realistic or how to life it is. I'll just get the results up there. So the top speed is 36 miles an hour, as you can see. The top speed of Spinball Whizzer is 60 kilometres an hour, which equals 37. So I'm 1 mile an hour out there, I can take that. Maximum height is 17 metres. Does it tell me a maximum height? It doesn't, but the highest point of the lift hill is 17 metres. I made sure that was bang on. Track length 470, 390, so I'm a little bit short there. And then duration 1 minute 15. and duration there is 1 minute and 16. So I'm not too far adrift. I think that's as close and as realistic to the coaster in real life that I can possibly get. Yeah, obviously it does rely on the game mechanics being as realistic as real life. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. As you can see, I've gone in the details I've gone into in terms of like putting security cameras on the ride to spectate the guests. I've got the on-ride photo sections down here where I've built my own sort of camera. I've got the net, so this is usually a net going across this section because obviously there's a lot of cars going over this main pathway and a lot of chance for loose items to fall out. So this is normally a net. Obviously there isn't any nets in here, so I've just had to use the chain link fence. So although it does look a little bit messy from up here, as you zoom out it doesn't make such as much of a difference. So yeah, so that's what's down here. So what we'll do is we'll have a walk through the area and then we'll finish with a POV on the ride. So first of all, I built this sign, which is exactly the same as the sign that is in this position. I'll try and find a photo to put in here, but they do differ online based on the signs that are current in the park. But this is the one I based it off. Spinball Whizzer basically went through a period where it was sponsored by Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was called the Sonic Spinball. But that was only for 3 years, and then they rebranded it after. So I've based it on the images that I found online. Here's the other side for the main entrance. Again, these numbers all tend to spin round because it is supposed to be a pinball machine. As you can see, I've got two entrances. I've got the entrance and the Fastpass entrance. However, on this game, obviously, the Fastpass has to be part of the queue line. So, what I've done is I've made a fake entrance here that goes round, and then there's a bit of a gap, and then you join the Fastpass there. So yeah, that's how I've got around that. I'll come back to the rest of the queue line shortly. As we get around here, we've got a little wooden frame here underneath the lift hill. We've got a little maintenance area to get onto the bottom of the chain link, and we go down here and we have a maintenance depot, which just says ball in play and spin. So we've got a separate track. We've got a screen with the shutter on, and we've got another car sat inside here. This area is all on concrete. Just around the edge of here is just trees, so I can fill those in afterwards as I'm just kind of spreading around the area. But yeah, this path here leads basically down to a gate, which is a maintenance path. Just in here we have some claw machines, and we have the on-ride photo booth just here. Photos, key rings, and mouse mats. So yeah, and that is the design of the photo booth. Again, it's all about these buttons. It's all about the red, the blue. So yeah, it's just a constant theme going around the area. You'll notice these silver balls that are just planted around the area as well. They're just pinballs that are placed around the track, just to give it a little bit more theming. Down here we have a seating area, followed by a refresh, which is a food outlet. So I thought I'd just put some shops there. The staff have gone for a very long walk to the staff room, which is right at the entrance. So I'll probably need to plonk one of these in behind here just so the staff aren't wandering off. But yeah, and then this basically leads in to the back of CBeebies Land here. There isn't another path into this section. You have to go through CBeebies to get to the back of the Spinball Whizzer area. Over here, there's a bit of a play area, a bit of an obstacle course, followed by the Aeronauts coaster. So that will be the next section that I do in next week's episode. So I will start to spread out and go back up towards CBeebies Land from that point. But yeah, so that is Spinball Whizzer, and we will take a walk now down the queue line to go and experience the ride itself. So as you come down here, around the queue line, there's like different games. I say games, it's basically there's a button on the side of the fence and you press it and it fires a ball. into a similar. It's not a pinball machine, but it's similar to one. Fires a ball and you get a score basically. And there's different games as you go down the queue. So all I've done is I've just built a box and put a screen in and just changed the screen as I go down. I've got very exciting music, as you can hear. There's the last game, and then as you go up here, you go into the station. Now the control box is to the right as you go in, and it has this like red and yellow line going around, going over the door as well. And then as you go over the other side here, I've just got some stuff, some boxes here to put your loose items and bags in before you go on the ride. And I think that is about it. Other than I've got these, I've got the scores on top here, on top of the roof. Now, unfortunately, the way the stations are set up in this game, I'm just going to pause it before this car. Actually, I'll just let it go because the regular cars anyway, are constantly going out. The way the stations are set up, the track isn't bang on in the middle, because Spinball Whizzer itself, the track is bang on underneath the ridge of the roof, so they would be right above it. Fortunately, it means that is kind of blocked out a little bit by the building, but hey ho, that's what it is. But yeah, that is the station. It's not like an overly themed station. You can actually see under the track here if you look on the photos. So that's why I've left that open. And and then we've just got another one of them score things on the side there. So I think it's about time, after all of that, after the many hours I've put into this, as you can see I am at 33% now, I think it's time to take a go on Spinball Whizzer. So enjoy. And there we go, back into the station. Like I say, I'm very happy with how that's come together. I've spent a lot of time building stairs to access all the block sections up here. As I say, in real life, the coaster runs about 8 trains when it's at full capacity, and because of that, there is so many block sections on the ride. So that if at any point they need to take time loading somebody on down here, there's quite a few cars stopped around the track. Now, the only issue with that is, I think I can fit 7 on in the way this is laid out, but not all of the cars get round their section if I put any more on, and that's just because of the physics of the game more than anything. As I say, this coaster, in terms of the duration, the speed, etc., is based on real life. It's just the physics of the game. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't run any more cars than that. But it is a constant flow of cars. There's always some waiting to be loaded up. And I'll just take a quick look at night time, so you can take a look at the area. So there we go. It's just red and blue all over. As I say, there's just that constant theme running through the area. And so that is Spinball Whizzer. I really hope you've enjoyed that. We'll just take some cinematic views of the ride, I think, just to finish on. If we go down here, and we'll go cinematic. So yeah, really hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please leave a thumbs up to just show your support. That would mean the world if you could do that. And if you do want to see the rest of this park develop, then obviously do subscribe. And I shall see you in the next episode, which is next Thursday at 7 PM. Not sure how much I'll be able to incorporate in next week's episode, but it will be moving on to the Octonauts coaster and then moving in also into CBeebies land. What a fantastic shot this is. Look at that, look how exciting. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so I will leave you with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye.